Hey everyone, it's been way too long since I've been on here, and now we've got all of this going on. So enjoy, but let's have some fun. We're going to talk about crooked glasses today, again, because it's been a while and it's a topic that can never get beat up enough. And it's been almost a year since we've talked about it, but in general, just any sort of wonky, out of shape glasses, we're going to go over it today and have some fun on how to get away from having the wonky, crooked glasses. Like, just don't. All right, now, what you actually want to know, rather than me blabbering blah, 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 actually, yeah, you guys love when I do that, right? Anyways, so what we're actually here for is just any sort of wonky glasses I'm going to go over today, whether they're sitting crooked, close, whatever. It's going to be a good brief overview because we have several other videos. Highly recommend checking out the video on adjustment and fit. You'll go through and find how to really get your glasses dialed in and fitted perfectly for you, which is ultimately what matters and really makes a huge difference in the experience of wearing glasses in the first place. I don't care what kind of frame you have, that's what's key. So if your glasses are crooked, I've got a really good short video on that because it is relatively a simple fix. This one's perfect. I'm not bending this one. I love you guys, but I'm not bending up my frame that I have painstakingly spent time adjusting to get absolutely perfect. This guy, it's good, but it lives down here. I just don't super enjoy it. It's boring, okay? That's all it is. Fit is good now, but let's go ahead and mess that up real quick so it's not good so you can see what to do. In this case, now we are low over here. The whole pair of glasses is sloping downward. So there's a couple ways we could fix that. To unfix it, I bent this side up, which is what caused this. The opposite is to repair that. We can take this back down, which will lift this side up, or we can also lift this side up, which will then lower this side down. Now with everything sitting properly, you can see that that's off again. So the way we're going to do that on this particular frame, because we have the solid titanium core, this tip here is where our adjustment point's going to be. If I want to bring this one up, just like that, we'll just bring it up just a little bit, and now we're sitting back level. There's a little bit more that goes into that. We're not going to go too super deep into that just today at least, but know that essentially the higher both of these sit, the more this is out away from the cheeks, and the opposite is true. The lower that these sit, or rather the higher those sit, I'm backwards today, the higher these sit, and this is easy to exaggerate on the face, the closer this gets down here and the farther away that goes. It does affect the balance of the frame. Again, already have a great video on the balance and fit and how all that plays together. Go check that one out if you need that help. Nose pads are a whole other matter, and that is these little guys right here, just the pads held on by arms to the frame. If you have a metal frame, these are the bane of your existence for many people. I typically recommend titanium arms and ceramic pads because set them, forget them, never touch it again. These are titanium arms, but we have silicone pads, so sometimes those wear a little bit differently and can throw the adjustment off. In particular, on this one, you'll see, even from that short time, we get a little pressure point right there. So on nose pads, essentially, you want to adjust away from the pressure. So in this case, that red spot was up here towards the top. So we're going to take that, move it out a little bit, or you can move, again, same as before, opposite direction. This one here, just a little outward pressure on that top edge, a little inward pressure on that lower edge. It's going to change that angle more in line with the nose itself, which is really the key. And there we go, that already feels significantly better. So now, even from that quick wear, not as much of a spot there, so that's much better. Other side's good on this one. You can also use these to raise or lower the frame, and the way you would do that is push both inwards will cause that frame to lift up. You've got about a 4mm range there you can work with, so the same in reverse. spread them out, that whole frame is going to drop down a little bit. That is key for getting that centration right where you need it. Don't make yourself dizzy by bouncing your frame up and down. On the acetate pads, obviously, on the acetate frames, we don't have pads to worry about, and this psycho over here is going to tell you to worry about them anyway. There are very, very few adjustments that can be done with actual built-in nose pads on acetate frames. Don't let anybody tell you, however, that nothing can be done. These can be shaved down and molded to shape to the nose a little bit better. The frame can be wrapped or opened up a little bit more at that front edge to adjust the splay ever so slightly, or they can even be filed and shaved down to fit perfectly. None of those things you want to do by yourself, by the way, and I'd say a lot of opticians don't really fully have that skill set developed either. So in a way, they're not adjustable, but it can be done. You do want to see how to adjust these, right? Solid acetate, there's not really much you can do there. Well, there is. So the same as that titanium frame, you want to look where things go a little bit thinner. So in this case, we can see that whole core wire. Right here's where we transition to that more traditional wire setup here. The acetate's thinner. So our adjustment point on these is from here back to about where we start to thicken up a little back here. And even then you can still go in and out a little bit. So that's where you can make that height adjustment. You can also do it here in the hinges. Generally, I don't recommend that because, especially on the higher end side of things, there is a lot of painstaking time and effort that goes into this miter joint, making that absolutely beautiful and as seamless as it can be. You don't want to undo that by bending this down and then having a gap up here, or the opposite, bending it up and having a gap down here. It's not really what you want to see in the frame. You want to keep the overall cosmesis and beautifulness. Is cosmesis a word? Somebody, I'm inventing words today. There's no rum. Anyway, so that's where you would make the bend on a frame like this. Step it up to something a little bit larger, a little bit thicker. You've got even less room for adjustment, but it's the same thing. You look for this area where it goes a little bit thinner. We have just that core wire. Our adjustment area on this one, much, much smaller, but it's still there. No, you don't need to adjust those much for that matter. Same thing here, another very large acetate frame. A lot less to work with. Right about in here is pretty much what you've got. Everybody always wants to see more about how to do these. So, one last adjustment I'm going to throw in here. We're going to keep this just under 10 minutes. I've probably gone a little bit fast on these, but just kidding. So, you can rewind, you can find the spots. We'll try and tag them down below so you can get the right areas. The next one is sitting closer to one cheek versus the other. This is extremely common on frames from people that do that. Whether you leave them halfway on your face or not. It is the one-handed off and on. As you can see, puts a lot of stress on that one arm. This one has a hinge that's designed to take it. The titanium prevents to some degree the stretching, but ultimately what's going to happen is over and over and over and over, that one side, no, I did not do that with editing. That one side is slowly going to bend out and out and out. And what happens is when we've got that one bent out, it is going to cause the frame to sit like that. As you can see, I've got a nice little indentation right there from it. Obviously, I am simulating and exaggerating all of this, but that is what happens because this side is pushing more and this side is not there to put any pressure back. And the fix to that, of course, you do the opposite. See where this is going? Glasses aren't super hard to adjust inherently, but getting it absolutely perfect requires a little bit of effort and a little bit of know-how and just getting it there. So this guy, what we would do is a set of pliers right in here to bring that back in. You want to make that bend right there in the hinge to bring that in. The acetates, you would warm up right here and bend that in. Same thing all around. If it is a brand new frame and it's fitting like that, sometimes it's adjustment, sometimes it's the lenses, the way they were cut, that is causing it. I said I was going to keep this under 10 minutes. My little timer up there says that we are there. So, I'm gonna give you all that. Enjoy it. Go through the adjustment videos in the playlist. You will get the perfectly tuned glasses that make you sing a symphony, the harmony of whatever you love, whether that is the beautiful sound of an engine purring away or a beautiful orchestra, just all in tune, everything magical. That's where we're gonna get you with your glasses. Now, if you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, the like button if this video helped you. Let me know your feedback down below if this helped you or if you think I'm a bumbling, rambling idiot, which you are welcome to think. It's probably mostly true anyways. I'll catch you guys next time.